exploring lakes, rivers, and reservoirs across the country with an unyielding goal to enlighten viewers from a fisheye perspective. Come along and we'll investigate the habitat. Much more than a fishing show, this is an eye-opening aquatic experience. Welcome to Kim Stricker's Hook and Look. Food, a nutritious substance consumed in order to sustain life and promote growth, is diverse when it comes to freshwater, piscivorous fishes. Locating these forage species is most often the primary key to angling success. This week, Kim capitalizes on specific areas where the baitfish are tightly congregated in massive schools. The pattern is straightforward. Find the food, and you'll catch 'em, dude.
Northern Michigan smallmouth, you gotta love it, you gotta try it.
As heat dissipates from a tranquil lake, Kim prepares for another episode shoot on this late summer morning. Equipment is affixed with care, and the boat is loaded with more gear than the average angler could even imagine. It's all in a day's work, a disciplined routine fueled by determination and a lifelong passion for the outdoors.
That's fish. Whoa-wee. Whoa-wee. How big are you? He thinks he's really giant. Come on up here. Smallmouth. Ooh. There he is. Come on up here. Yeah, I'll get my net over here. Make it easy on us. Come on over here, smallmouth. There you are. There you go. That's a nice average smallmouth. Nothing giant. But look at the big full belly. That's a good sign. If they're feeding, we just got to come across the better ones. But that little ultra point drop shot hook is stuck in there pretty darn good. It's like a little sliver, man. It gets in there. But that's the new size, smaller version, Z2. And with all the shiners that are in this lake, this looks just like them.
This late summer, early autumn pattern is centered around the emergence of baitfish from the deep. As the water begins to cool down, wads of baitfish, which have been suspended throughout the main lake basin, ascend shallower, and the smallmouth follow close behind. The key is locating the bait.
Looking for massive schools of bait. There's fish. I got a fish. Ooh, this one looks a little better. Oh, that's a big smallmouth. That's what we're looking for. Come up here. Oh, look at that. That's what we're looking for right there. That's what we're looking for. Yes, sir. Big old smallie. Yes, sir. I love it. Look at that, right in the nose, right where you want to get them. And that bone, I can get it out. Yeah, that is a sharp hook. That's the ultra point drop shot hook. But yeah, he wanted that little baby Z2. We're finally starting to get a feel. The fish seem to be in that 11 to 15 foot range. I've tried cranking up on the flats and stuff, they're not really up there. And I haven't really seen big schools of bait yet, but I think we're heading in the right direction, and right after these messages.
Coming up, Kim finds what he's looking for. Stay tuned. Hook and Look is brought to you by Strike King Lure Company, #1 in fishing lures. Lose, feel the difference. Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Seagar, trust Seagar when everything is on the line. And by Aquaview, reinventing underwater cameras.
I'm marking some fish on the bottom. Could be perch too, those size. Another perch, but that's the bait around weed beds, like that one right there. It's actually the whole school of minnows down there. Well, the bait's hanging around the weeds, and we need just to find an abundant patch. We may find a good stack of smallmouth.
This particular lake really didn't have much weed cover for the baitfish to find refuge. However, the patches I could find seemed to be somewhat productive. Then I came across a larger patch directly adjacent to deeper water.
Man, there's just gobs of bait here. Mega schools of bait. Ought to be a few big smallies around them. There we go. Yeah, ooh, that might be better than I think. They don't quit, they don't quit. Oh yeah. Right over here, Mr. Smallmouth. Oh, playing tricky like that on me. Nice, there we are. Yep, right inside there. Get him out of it. Go, easy too. But yeah, look at this. Yeah, nice. There's an area of weeds right here, and you can see that the bait is just all over them. And there's some feeding activity going on top, but there's small fish, they're rock bass or something. But on the outside edge, I think we're gonna catch more of these, and it's a nice, darn good fish. All right, let's get back in gear here. Let's figure this spot out. Ooh, just went over a fish. Ooh, and another nice fish. Come on, baby, come on. There we go. Ooh, ooh, that's a good fish. That's a good fish. Ooh, that is awesome. Look at them. Big smallmouths. Oh, get my net here. Oh, yes. Come on over to Daddy. Yeah. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. He just popped off. Good fish. Nice, healthy looking. Look at that. But yeah, this is a key deal right here. The weed bed next to a drop off and the bait fish coming up. It's like textbook stuff. I'm going to get down and take a look at what this all looks like, and I'm sure you'll enjoy that. But awesome, very nice. Thank you, fish.
Taking into consideration that the core of any angling presentation consists of several components, today's Seagar system begins with a Strike King Pearl White Baby Z2 and a 3/8 ounce tour grade tungsten drop shot weight. The hook is a size 2 ultra point drop shot hook. As you've seen and heard, Kim has relied on the smooth 6-disc carbon drag system of his Team Lou's Mach Crush speed spin reel. For clarity underwater, a leader of 8-pound Test Seaguar Tatsu fluorocarbon line is attached to 20-pound Seaguar flash green smackdown braid.
Ah, you dog. Got my bait. Pulled off my Z2, and that's not an easy thing to do at all. The Z2 is made of that Elastec. That is super durable, stretchy material, and you don't go through many worms. Man, there's just gobs of bait here. But they're jumping all over this Z2. There is a gazillion rock bass here. We know that. In fact, before I get on the water, I'm going to want to scope it out a little bit with the AquaView. I think we'll do that right now.
Stay tuned. An in-depth look below the surface is coming up next.
As you know, I spend as much time under the water as I do above it. And that's why conservation and keeping our lakes and waterways clean is very important to me. One of the reasons I choose Evinrude to run on my boat is because it's hands down the cleanest running outboard available. I had the opportunity to visit Evinrude's world headquarters and get a word or two from Jeff Wassel, the engineer responsible for their emissions lab and ensuring every engine they produce far exceeds every global emissions standard.
This is the emissions compliance lab, and we're responsible for testing all the engines to comply with the US EPA, California Air Resources Board, European Union, and other regulatory agencies around the world. We have a self-certification lab, which means we have the ability to, as we're developing products, to continuously monitor the emissions and improve the fuel economy of the engine. So what we've got here is an engine dynamometer test cell. And the test cell's purpose is to simulate the load of a propeller on a boat. So in other words, we're able to connect the engine prop shaft to the dynamometer, and that is able to measure the torque, the power, the performance of that engine, and we're also at the same time collecting exhaust emissions from the engine as it's running. So we run through a variety of test cycles, and that allows us to collect all of the data from the engine. So we're looking at torque, we're looking at horsepower, we're looking at brake-specific fuel consumption of the engine. We're looking at a variety of different constituents coming from the engine. Number one is hydrocarbons, carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, and residual oxygen. All of those are criteria that we need to look at when we test the engine for emissions.
This is my AquaView HD7i Pro that I've got mounted, hard mounted in the boat. And it's high definition. The picture that you get on this is absolutely incredible. And what I want to do is check out this area. I plan on getting the water. I want to check it for the visibility. I also want to get a sneak preview of exactly what bait is there. So let's drop the camera down, and I'm just gonna kind of drift through the area. And you can see here on my Humminbird the bait, and here you go, here they are. That doesn't tell you what they are. The AquaView tells you I'm looking at a heck of a nice school of perch. But look at the schools of them, just hundreds of them. And them smallmouth love those perch. But we'll also come across those big schools of shiners, and I know they're feeding on those for sure. Rock bass, we're getting those schools of rock bass one after another. And they're all here for a reason, and that's the bait. You know, the visibility looks pretty good for my diving. I'm coming off a little deeper. Our experience fishing has been that the fish have been in that 11 to 14. Ooh, there's one of the right ones. Smallmouth just come by the edge of it.
Yep, there was one of the right ones. Then there were two. Typically, these big smallies will travel in groups. And sure enough, followed close behind was another 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's all I wanted to see. Time to get in the water.
Okay, let's see if we can see some fishes down here. I'd like to see some of that big old smallmouth.
As expected, the schools of baitfish were hovering over the Valleson area in massive numbers. And sure enough, the big smallies were on the prowl nearby, ganged up like a wolf pack, stalking the outer edge.
This area is the feeding station, no question about it.
As I moved shallower where the grass grew thicker, I somewhat unexpectedly encountered a largemouth bass. He too was undoubtedly drawn to the baitfish buffet. In fact, several species of predatory fish, even this big bowfin, came to satisfy its appetite amidst the weed bed. As you know, part of what we do on our program is to show the action of Strike King lures from our underwater perspective. On this episode, the task was a little more difficult because of the amount of baitfish in the area. Let me share with you a little behind-the-scenes footage of the undertaking that kind of blew me away.
Okay, switch it. Yeah, just like that. A little more. You got rock bass looking at it like crazy. You know, I'm sitting there watching all the rock bass and stuff come at it. I'm waiting for a smallmouth to do it. Oh, rock bass got it.
Out of the gate, the rock bass were annoying, but it only got worse.
Okay, switch that thing. The shiners go for it too. The shiners are biting it too. I didn't know that.
The shiners I'm referring to, I believe, are actually alewives, but regardless, I had no idea of the activity transpiring at the end of my line.
I can't believe how much the shiners are going at it. Wait till you see this footage. This is hard to do because there's so many fish biting it.
I tell you, I'm not only amazed at the fish attracting action of the baby Z2, but also of the durability of the Elastec plastic. It's extremely hard to destroy, and if one came off the hook, it quickly floated to the surface and I retrieved and reused it. In addition, it's that floating attribute of Elastec that keeps the Z2 level, but also keep in mind that unlike conventional soft plastics, when drop-shotted, Elastec baits won't sink to the bottom on slack line.
Be sure to follow Hook and Look on Facebook and Instagram. We'll be right back. This portion of Hook and Look is brought to you by Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Evinrude, the only outboard that lets you have it all. Simms Fishing Products, the choice of professional guides and anglers worldwide. Trickstep, because getting in and out of your trailered boat should be easy. And by Indian River, Michigan Tourist Bureau. Pure waters, pure trails, pure north.
This is that flash green Seagar Smackdown braid. It's a new color this year that's high vis. You know, I can sit here and watch the strikes. Watch the little bumps on your line. Like that. Oh, like that. Oh, yeah. Come on up, come on up. Oh man, my mock crush. The drag on my reel is just whipping. Look at that fish, look at him. Oh, is that a dandy? Oh, baby. Come to Papa. Yes, looky here. Is that a nice smallmouth? Oh, man. Look at that beautiful smallmouth. I'd say that little Z2 is the perfect little bait to use here. Ah, ha, ha, ha. I love smallmouth fishing. I want another one of those big ones. You just got to come across these spots when they're up and going at it. That's a little better one, I think. Yep. Oh, that's a big one. That's a big one. I knew there was some right here. I knew there was some right here. He just wants to get on his boat. It's a nice boat. Oh, come on up here. Yes, there's a dandy. Another dandy. Isn't that nice? Look at that. The baby Z2. And just look at that. Northern Michigan smallmouth. You gotta love it. You gotta try it.
I can't get enough of it. There's something special about catching big smallies. Next week, we do an about face and perform a little milfoil magic for largemouths. We'll power fish with a rage craw and take an in-depth look within the heavy vegetation. Join us then on Hook and Look.
Hook and Look is a Kim Stricker production.